You floated out the idea that maybe the Clippers do a drive-by with Phil Jackson. You think Phil is physically capable of being a head coach in the NBA?
I think that's the biggest question. 75 years old, just turned 75 this month, has dealt with myriad health issues over the years. Can his body hold up to the rigors of an NBA season? I think that's the first and foremost question that would have to be answered when it comes to Phil Jackson. But other than that, Dan, it does make a lot of sense to at least kick the tires on Phil Jackson. I mean, how many coaches out there are proven to have won at this level, who can take over teams with star players and succeed at the highest level? I know a lot of people say the triangle is outdated in today's NBA game. I disagree. I think that Phil's offense can work in today's NBA game. And I think a guy like Kawhi Leonard could actually thrive in it in the same way Kobe Bryant thrived in it with the Lakers. And if you're Phil Jackson, isn't this job a little bit appealing to you? Don't you? Aren't there reasons to go and take this job, Dan? I mean, Dan, it's been like a decade. I know that relationship with Jeannie Buss is still strong, but a decade ago, the Lakers didn't exactly, throw Phil a retirement party on his way out the door. It didn't end in the most positive of ways with the Lakers. Phil's comfortable living in LA, being in that environment. And Phil, even though he's the all-time leader in championships, can do something, or at least have the opportunity to do something with the Clippers that no other coach has done. And that's win 3 championships with 3 teams as a head coach. So if you're Phil Jackson, your body's first and foremost, but if it can hold up and the Clippers call, I'd make a run at him.
And it doesn't help the Clippers situation that the Lakers are 4 wins away from another title.
No, it doesn't. But if you're Phil, doesn't that add a little bit more fuel to the fire? Like the Lakers might be the champion this time next week. They're going to be looking to run it back next year with the same group. The chance to walk into Staples Center and win the championship. Like, Dan, Phil Jackson. You've talked to him over the years. I know him a little bit. I've talked to him over the years. You can't tell me that this possibility is not at least a little bit appealing to Phil Jackson. There are other variables, like I don't know how he and Jerry West would ever get along
that was
that organization.
That was another question, because Jerry and Phil, that didn't end well either.
It didn't, but I mean, Jerry's not the general manager with that team. He's influential, but he is more of an advisor at this stage, and a well-paid one at this stage. But it's not like he's running the organization. I think, look, if you're Steve Ballmer and you're not convinced that Ty Lue's the guy, and you're not convinced Jeff Van Gundy's the guy, or somebody else that you have in mind, you've basically got a blank check that you can write your head coach. Why not take the Microsoft jet up to Montana and see what Phil Jackson's thinking?